little picture taken up in the attic. And the pictures that you took are going to show that same floor and what are they, drawers?
Built-in drawers, yeah, just like that.
Okay.
Which is knee deep or so.
Okay. And they're still there.
They're still there.
And that is the, we'll get to that in a minute, okay?
That's about it.
Okay. Here's what I would ask Anna for your answer. You ready, guys? Can you focus that better?
Okay, thanks.
Can you get that better focused? Kind of hard to read that.
Meredith Williams loves the challenge of restoring old houses.
That'd be a little better. Can you get it focused? That's it.
All right. Meredith Williams loves the challenge of restoring old houses, and when the chance to restore an almost century-old home that had been a church for 30 years turned up, it was too good to pass up. It was my daughter who was looking for a house, Williams related on a recent summer afternoon. I love to look at houses, so I went with her. Williams' daughter decided the house was more than they wanted to take on. I asked her, "Are you sure you don't want it?" Williams continued. When she said no, I said, "Well, I do." Sitting under the shade trees in the backyard, Williams explained that she bought the house in March, hoping to move in April. She pointed to a dumpster as long as a tractor trailer nearby. "We filled that dumpster 3 times just with debris," she smiled. Now she is hoping for a moving date of August 1st. "I was doing a lot of the work myself until we had to deal with a lot of bad places," she explained. The house, basically on one floor, had about 3,000 square feet. Old carpets that covered the floors while it was in use as a church have been removed, and the wood floors sanded. The floors have had 2 coats of finish, and Carpet House will come back and buff them up, she noted. Paint, William noted, does wonders in the renovation process. "Some of the rooms I had to paint right away," she smiled. "They were pink. Even the carpet was pink." "I love the French doors." Williams pointed out 2 matching rooms on either side of the front entrance. "A neighbor told me the one on the left was a music room. I have a piano, so I can use it for that too." It was in the kitchen, a room that bears signs of many renovations, that the decision was made to part somewhat from the past. I tried to find somebody to work with the old plaster. And
Next page. Okay.
next slide, please. "And I didn't have much luck," Williams noted. "We decided to go with the quick fix in sheetrock. I'm trying to save what I can when it makes sense," she added. "The house has many intriguing features unfamiliar to modern-day homeowners. There is a narrow closet that opens to reveal a fold-down ironing board, glass-fronted china cabinets that extend to the ceiling, and numerous built-in pantries, closets, and bathroom cabinets. We had a ball when the old walls came off," she recalled. "We kept saying, 'You're not going to believe what I found under here.' The house has a long screened-in porch in back, already a favorite spot of the new homeowner. 2 sort of finished rooms in the basement with access from the house, and plenty of basement storage space, including a room handy for storing gardening tools and supplies. The attic has a large finished room with built-in drawers all along one wall. Williams had been told that the Gilberts used the attic room as a dormitory. The Gilberts had 2 sons, Robert and Duck Gilbert, and a daughter, Leanne. We'll call Les Andrews, who knew the family. Mrs. Gilbert also raised a niece named Caroline, added Mrs. Sally Ann Whitten, who visited in the house as a child. She slept in the attic room. According to the history of Farmville, 1798 to 1948, Floyd Baxter Gilbert, born June 17, 1884 in Cumberland County, became associated with the Farmville Manufacturing Company as a young man and was later promoted to vice president and general manager of the firm. He died March 29, 1944. "We found some things in the attic, a backpack from one of their daughters who had taken a trip to Europe," William noted. "One of the children must have gone to military school. We found school papers and uniforms."
One more section.
Lieutenant Robert L. Gilbert, one of the Gilbert sons, was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross in World War II. On June 12, 1943, as a member of a formation attacking 35 Japanese planes, he engaged 3 of the enemy and shot down all of them. On the home front, Farmville Manufacturing did its part for the war effort by producing handles for floor trucks used in arsenals and supply depots. The handles were made from local oak and hickory. In addition, 700 dozen plow handles were made each week, which was vital to the war effort in providing necessary farm equipment. Like layers of plaster, the history of the house on High Street accumulated through the war years and the 50 years since. Now, as renovations continue, the clock is turning back. Once again, there is the sound of children's laughter in the old house. Williams has 5 children and 5 grandchildren, and some of them are spending part of their summer with her. I like old houses, and I like the fact that this house is really only 1 floor. People have asked if I plan to take down the handicap ramp in front. Williams smiled. I plan to be here until I need to use it.
And I guess that's all. Okay. So moving on. So we know the Seventh-day Adventist Church was there for 32 years, I believe. Richard McClintock, who's here tonight, told me that in about 1979, Faith Bible Fellowship had an agreement with the Seventh-day Adventist Church to use the church building on Sundays. What's going on there? So anyway, Seventh-day Adventists met on Saturdays, and they formed the use of their building, this house, on Sundays. Well, that lasted a short while, according to Richard.
Because it was very convenient.
Yeah, it became inconvenient because Faith Bible Fellowship had to bring everything from home, put it in that house, and then when the service was over, they had all of that to take it home. So it only lasted a while here in 1979. But most people don't know or don't remember that there were actually 2 churches using that house at one time. So everybody always said, oh, it was a Seventh-day Adventist church. Well, it was actually, for a short while, 2 churches. I was surprised to learn that. Okay, I'm going to go through here and show the slides that Ryan has taken, and he's going to tell you what describe each photograph.
This photo is from the attic, and it shows a portion of that long well of jars that you saw in the picture, and then some of those little tiles that are still up there, and an electric box that I put another photo in for you all to enjoy as well in a minute.
Okay.
Especially anyone who has electrical background will still love it.
Okay. As he goes through these photographs, if you have a question, please speak up, and he'll answer your questions. I will. I'm sure he will.
Is that tile floor?
Or is it linoleum?
It is, it's linoleum tiles, yeah. I brought one of them with me, it's over there.
Afterwards here, he's going to be over at the table, and he has some other items that he has found in the house, and they belong to different people that live there, and he wants to show those to you, but they're not going to be on the screen. They're right there. You can look at them hands-on. Okay, let's move to the next picture here.
Just like you saw in the old photo, those drawers are still there. Not sure what the original purpose was. I guess storage for clothes seasonally.
I guess since they had so many kids.
And the red portion in the middle is the chimney that comes directly up from the main living room.
Which is right there, right?
Yep, right there.
Okay. I couldn't figure this one out, so.
I couldn't figure this one out either, but it's a little door that goes into the crawl space beneath the living room. I I took the picture, and it doesn't show it very well, but there's pencil scrawling all over this wood board showing dates back into the 30s. I thought that was fun.
I wonder if it's when the coal deliveries,
That's your right.
probably,
Because immediately to the left of this, you can't really see it as the coal, the ash chute from the fireplace.
okay. So this is the coal room right under the house. And here is a better picture of that marking. It's kind of hard to see. If you look right in there, you see where somebody would make marking for them and put the line through it. So some records were kept on the inside of the door.
That's right.
And they're still there today. Okay.
This is the back screen porch that Meredith said she liked to hang out in that new story. And still has some of the original paint on it. And that door right there is our favorite to the right because I hope at some point in the past there were steps down to the ground floor, but now there's nothing. So it's our favorite door to nowhere.
Whose house is that? Do you know the background?
That would be Dr. Wade's house.
Dr. Wade. Okay, Wade. For those of you who know who Dr. Wade is.
Tori and Rob.
Yep.
This is the old coal crib that I identified as such because I found some coal there in the bottom. The whole floor is still full of old coals, along with the shovel that you can see there. Yeah. And there's a quick funny story. Do we have time for a funny story?
Yeah, we got plenty of time.
Patrick and Stephanie, our next door neighbors in the Blanton's house, had friends over, neighbors, not neighbors, but family for Christmas. And one of the kids had a remote control helicopter that landed on the roof, so they were over, we were talking and retrieving the helicopter, and we came around the house and we were showing them around, and the 7 or 8 year old girl, was it, looked in this coal crib. This was on Christmas Day, and she said, "Oh, can I have one of those pieces of coal?" And so without thinking, I grabbed the piece of coal and handed it to her, and then I realized that I had just given the kid a chunk of coal on Christmas Day, which is the one thing you're never supposed to do.
That's a story or another thing I was talking about.
She asked for it, and I've never given a piece of coal to anyone. In fact, I've never touched a piece of coal until that day, so there must have been a reason for it.
Okay, that's a good one.
But she's going to give it to her brother who landed it.
Probably.
All right.
This is the back yard. You can see the door to nowhere from the other side.
Right there. So we think there were steps there at one time.
I would hope.
Okay.
Steps are parachutes.
Okay. And that, maybe that ground was put in later, you know?
I think so. This is walking from the outdoor stoop in the back into the basement. And you can see that RG scratched his initials. So Robert Gilbert was one of the children that may have been him.
And they probably put that drain in
And
the
he
nineteen
was driven in 1935.
Okay, yeah, explain that.
There were 2 fireplaces in the house. One of them is still operational. This one is not bricked up.
Do you think Ms. Williams closed it up, or, you know,
I don't know. That's a good question.
it was done before you got there?
Yeah, you can still see some of the coal dust stain on the horizontal bricks in front of the hearth.
Okay. That's operational.
This one still works.
Okay.
Gas logs.
And I couldn't figure that one out.
This just shows some of those layers of wall that have been exposed through the years of renovations. You can see some probably corn husk sacks that were stuffed in there, stuffed in as insulation, and there's various layers.
Interesting. I couldn't figure out whether that was taken from the outside or the inside, but that's the inside part.
This was an outside portion that was later enclosed.
Okay.
a view of the back of the house.
Okay. You think, okay, that was never a garage, was it?
Don't think so, no, it's storage.
Okay, so that is now how y'all go in the house.
Yeah, that's right.
What? Oh, okay.
I thought it was like it was put together by a committee that didn't meet.
Over the period of time, you must have had different people helping. Let's see, yeah, all right.
Here's the kitchen.
You want to tell us what those two doors lead off?
Sure, this is looking from the back towards the front of the house. On the left is the butler's pantry, which was depicted in the news story.
Okay.
I think I would go with that. And then it goes forward into the dining room and then out onto the front porch. And then to the right, you can see the swing-through door that leads into a back passageway as well as the living room and the steps up into the attic.
Okay.
And this is, just like we have a favorite door to nowhere, this is our favorite window to nowhere.
Okay.
This is in one of the bathrooms, and you can see that it opens up to just a little shaft that's surrounded by wood slats, and it goes down about one floor.
So it's a result of adding on to and changing as the years went by.
That's right.
But,
Here's one of the bathrooms that shows some unplaster work with the arching. And the steps up to the attic.
okay.
This is the butler's pantry. The same shot appeared in the news story from a few years ago.
Yes, I
And you
recognize.
can see that the forced air return's been added at some point before.
New heat.
That's right.
I guess we would say.
Yep.
Okay.
And here's the living room looking forward onto the front porch.
Okay. How many children do you have?
15 from the photo, where it looks like they're actually only 2.5, 2 and 1 on the way.
Okay.
This is the old passageway behind the living room that runs crossways from the study to the kitchen.
Okay.
And another view of the back passageway.
Okay.
And here's the living room.
Okay.
Those old pine floors.
Old tarp pine floors. Very soft, very easy to dent and name. And very pretty. And here's that pull-out ironing board. There's a pull-out one, there are two in the house. This is one of them. You pull it out,
Fold it down.
roll it down. Yep.
Are you using it?
I haven't used it yet.
Okay.
It's an electrical outlet close enough to use it.
The electrical outlet is about 7 feet away, 6 feet away from this one.
No, it's not the old.
It was probably made for one of the old sofa eating ones. Here's from the kitchen, looking back into one of the multi-purpose bedrooms, or, you know, we think this was a screened-in porch, that back room originally, and then it was enclosed later on. Panorama of the music room, into the living room, or yes, the living room, and then the dining room. Looking from the front porch in. One of the bedrooms in the back, that was probably also a screen porch at one point. Here's the dining room.
That would be the front of the house up there.
That's the front of the house, and that piano was there when we moved in. If it's anybody's coming, you can come and grab it if you like, another slow piano. But it did find some fun sheet music in the piano bench, which some of it is up there to look at. It's old sheets from 1916.
Richard, do you think that piano was left by the Seventh-day Adventists?
I don't know, but Ms. Williams said she had a piano.
Okay, so probably Ms. Williams is,
Sure.
she might have left it, and the church might have used it. Nobody.
Looking forward on the front porch.
Okay.
Closets and doors and things that have been used for different things over the years. This is the old electrical outlet or a fuse box up in the attic. I flip the switch, it doesn't do anything. Tiles and the drawers on the right.
I'm just going to ask you, it's like that, apart glass, and that's just a
Covered, it rotates down. You can close it in the winter time. If you do open it in summer.
okay.
Live in our home. And I can't recall who that might have been, but was that Gilbert Ayers? Probably would have been, I forgot the name of the resident. She lives on High Street, but she said as a little girl, they were all terrified of this woman because she would peer out of the window that running around and she would never come out or make an appearance.
Caroline who's not with us tonight, she's our vice president. She told me it was basically the same story, that everybody was petrified of Mrs. Gilbert. And she lived there 26 more years after her husband died, and various stories that people up and down that street had to say about her. She wasn't a bad woman or ugly or anything. I guess she never came out of the house much. That's all I can say to that.
Was Caroline on that street as well?
803.
Okay, that's who's oldest.
Okay.
Yeah. Her brother-in-law is mayor.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you intend to leave the home kind of as is, or will you have different plans for the future?
I think we're gonna go and maybe turn everything church boys and some gold. No, just. Well, we love finding out about it. So we're gonna keep it as close to honoring the original as possible and fix up the parts that need fixing.
One thing I've noticed driving down there is a fence across the front. So that is different than in the picture we have at night.
That's right.
So that's just a recent addition to it, which looks nice. Yes.
Thank you. I try to put it myself.
The Seventh-day Adventists put up a wall in front of the current front door. Hexagonal windows in them. And I've never quite figured out why they did it. But Ms. Williams took those down so you could actually see the front door again.
I could go into that, that's cool. Like
program. All right. So I want to thank you for coming tonight. And Ryan is going to be over at table in a few minutes showing you the things that are on display. And I want to remind everybody that, again, next month, we're going to be talking about a very special project that we've got going on. And I don't know why that did that, but anyway, there's been a lot going on in the Historical Society since February. And we're not quite ready to announce what it is, but we will next October 21st at the next meeting. And we're going to be talking about this house. And could it be the most important home in Prince Edward County? Next month, I will tell you why I think it is the most important home, at least to all of us in the Historical Society. It is great news, and I hope everybody can come, and we're going to tell everybody what's going on. There's some legal things right now that we can't tell about, but it will be told next month. And, do you want to hear it?
It's mainly the picture frame that I think is of interest to the Historical Society. But I think many of you probably knew Mrs. Liz L. Jackson, who lived on 4th Avenue in Farmville. Mrs. Jackson passed away this summer. But this is a picture that hung in her dining room. And actually, I think she had it framed with, many of you probably lived for a long time, probably knew her husband as well, John Jackson. So this was framed for Mr. and Mrs. Jackson in August of 1970. And on the back it says it was framed by Clausen's Furniture Company, which is here in Farmville. At the time it was here in Farmville. And actually we had a very interesting program that Jimmy and several other people did a couple of years ago here at the Historical Society about the Clausen Furniture Company. So please come up and look at it. It's a very pretty, I think, walnut picture frame. And I asked Mrs. Jackson's nieces if I could donate this to the Historical Society, and they said yes. So I'd like to give that to you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Let's see. 04471.
And I want to go further.
Yeah, look at Carl Brown, we're never again. Well, I'm going to let you try one.
Oh, great.
Came up. You got it, Carl. What we got? 04471. That'd be me.
Aren't you glad you did it? My lucky charm.
Look at this. I got it here in my hand. Thank you, sir. You got the card right here. That's all right.
It planned on having a substitute for the Pledge of Allegiance, but I couldn't get everything going right tonight. Came over here this afternoon, spent 2.5 hours setting all this up, and everything went fine. Came back, carried on, so I switched back to our old and mouth didn't turn over real good, but at least we got it done.
And we're gonna do it in addition to the sleds, right, not in lieu of.
Either way, whatever you think.
We're gonna hardcore patriotic.
Yes. We're glad to have you back, Chris. Chris has been injured and been out for a couple of months, so he's back on his feet. Good to see you, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we got cookies in the back, bottles of water, and everybody can go back and get themselves. See you next month.